So this is episode 59 of my weekly diary, and for some reason I'm looking very red. So I don't know if I got burnt or not. If I did, that would be annoying. But yeah. Anyway, so I've come back from a game, so that should all be posted next week, all the edits and highlights and all that sort of stuff. This week ended up being quite a short week, but it was still pretty difficult. Monday my brother was in hospital, so I ended up doing swimming, 45 minutes of laps. Ended up going into the sauna at the end, which is something I never do, and actually was alright for once, which is surprising even to me. And then Tuesday I had training with Brentwood Eels, which was obviously, I was surprised not more people came because it was our final training session together. But who knows? It was actually one of my favourite ones because they went through set piece. It felt more organised. And at the start we went training with the boys, which was quite funny. My throat is struggling at the minute because I got hit pretty hard. But yeah. So Wednesday I had off, and then Thursday I had training at Oxford, which was an absolute killer. This is like one of the hardest sessions I have, or hardest session I've ever had. So it started off pretty chill with like gym. It was uppers, not lowers. You had units, which was going through lineouts and scrums. Accidentally fell straight on my face. It wasn't really my fault because someone had moulds instead of boots, and obviously wet pitch plus moulds equals sliding around. So that didn't grow amazing. Lineouts are actually coming out really nicely, and we're doing a pretty good job at memorising them, especially first years, by the way. I'm moving my hand a lot. It's distracting me somehow. And then Friday I had off, Saturday I had off, and then Sunday, obviously, I had 2 40-minute games. I just realised I skipped the entire thing that I was going on about for Thursday. So yeah, then we had lunch, and then we had a quick meeting. It wasn't really talking about much, but we still went in there anyway. And then we had this awful session where I think it was 510 metres. So it started with that. So you ran, I think it's halfway around the pitch 3 times. And then you had to do 50 ball passes. So one with a tennis ball, one with a rugby ball. And you'd pass it like back and forth, trying to get to 50. If you dropped it, you'd have to restart all the way back to 0. My bad, I did actually drop one at one point and we won 36. I dropped the tennis ball in my defence, not the rugby ball, but that was so annoying, having to restart. But luckily, we weren't the only ones. And actually quite a lot of people struggled with that, so feels better. Then you had to do another 510 metres around, which, as I said before, absolutely sucked. It was awful. It was quite hot as well, by the way, so it wasn't just like nice and cool wind, it was hot. Then we came back and we had a partner with us, and we could split it however we wanted with each kind of thing. And it was bear crawls, 100 metres, so obviously 50 for each person. Then you do another 510, and oh my god, I was absolutely dying at this point. And then you go back, and then you do the next thing, which I'm trying to remember, and I think it was lunges. Then you do lunges, 100 metres again, split it however you want. Then another 510, and then it was tackle bags, which was actually my favourite until the coach told me I was making it look too easy, and I was told to jog while everyone else was walking, so that was fun. I had it above my head in my defence. Well, in their defence, pretty much. But yeah, that was... I liked the tackle bag was like the only one I was like, yes, about. Because that was definitely the easiest one. And then we were supposed to do another 510, but I think me and my partner only did about 200 before we ran out of time. And that was, like, thank God for that. Because the last thing was like 100 squats. And those just absolutely kill you. But yeah, I was definitely dying by this point, and I had chafing so badly. But yeah. And then obviously Saturday I had off. as I said before, and then game today, which is why I look slightly beaten up and completely red. Still hoping this is going to go away and not burn. But yeah, so that was my week. As I said, short, but it was definitely hard on 2 days. So my game today was... I'm going to save that for next week, actually. All I'm going to say, it was 2 games, 40 minutes each. And then I've got some exciting news for next week as well. So stay tuned. So this was my training session for Monday and Tuesday. First, I went swimming at Fairfield because my brother was at hospital. And then I did Brentwood Eels training. Now, this was actually one of my favourite training sessions, which is lucky because it's our final one together. And it was just what we did. It was making sure we worked together and going through our lines and set pieces. So I thought it went really well.